a very warm welcome to you. I'm Hayley Palmer. It is so good to have you here with me on tonight's show, as this is a very special show because we are at Marty Wilde's studio. Yes, I'm chatting to Marty Wilde and Kim Wilde, and here is what happened when I caught up with them. Kim and Marty, it's great to have you here. I don't think I've seen you for, I think it might be 18 months.
It was.
Yeah. Since I last visited you for tea and cake, which was lovely. But it's a real pleasure to be here with you in Marty's home. Yeah. I mean, I walked in here, I don't know if you can see this, it's just wonderful. It really is. So how have you guys been? Let's start with you, Kim. How have you been?
Well, I've been waiting to go on tour, really. My Greatest Hits came out, which was celebrating 40 years in the music. Well, actually, it was 40 years for Kids in America.
It was, yeah.
And I've just been waiting to do that tour. So while I was waiting, of course, because of COVID, I did jump on stage a few times with Dad a few months ago, which is really lovely. And I'm just waiting. I'm itching to get back on the road again, you know. Yeah. So, I've found lots of things to do. And obviously, for the first part of COVID, we were promoting Dad's album Running Together, which we did with you, which is great. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, things feel like they're starting to open up properly for everyone now. The music industry's had such a hammering. And, we're going to be at the front singing our hearts out to anyone who turns up.
We'll do our best.
Yeah, absolutely. And Marty, let's come to you. How have things been with you?
Good as can be, really. It's strange times, aren't they? I mean, you never know these days what your day's going to be like. You just do not know. No one knows. And it's a kind of up and down world at the moment. One day I'm up, the next day I get down in the dumps, the next day I'm up. The next day is a good day, next day is a strange day, and the next day... Because I think COVID's playing such a part. I think that, and of course, other things in the world, politics and God knows what else. But,
that's a whole other show.
Another show.
You're talking to the man who's still jumping in his car, going off to do a show for an hour or so, jumping back in the car to drive himself back home again. And how old are you now, Dad? 43?
82.
Just incredible, honestly. What's your secret?
I think just potluck. It's potluck. It's got nothing to do with...
It's music, Dad. It's a music.
It must be the music if you're going.
I think a passion.
You got the music in you.
I think a passion for music and passion for life generally. Yeah. And lucky to have, I've been a very fortunate man. I'm very aware of that. Since COVID, strangely enough, I realised how lucky I am. Not that I haven't always looked that way at my life, but you really do. You look in depth at yourself saying, well, thank God that I wasn't ill when COVID first came in, those poor people, the terrible people that passed on with that terrible disease. So, I've got surrounded by a loving family.
And a new dog. I have to talk about the dog because I met her and I've fallen in love with her and I want to take her home. She's just beautiful, isn't she?
Yeah, little Yorkshire Terrier called Lilibet. And we named her after the Queen because we're all huge fans of our Queen. So, and every time I say Lilibet, I think of the Queen.
But didn't dogs just come to the fore in the pandemic? I mean, we already had to, but I know a lot of people rediscovered their own pets or got a pet, got a new dog or a cat or something, and what great company they are. They're just beautiful things, aren't they? So blessed to have them in our lives.
They're great company, aren't they? They know every word that you're saying. They go through every emotion with you.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And they're time wasters as well. Lots of time. Cuddles.
Did you get you out walking too?
Yes.
The other day I have a little baby guitar which I write on. And often in the TV room, which is the other room, one of the other rooms, I write. I can't write now because when I do, she jumps up and she'd either jump on my shoulder and sit there and she looks at the guitar. And then if I play the guitar, then she goes forward and she wants to see the guitar. So I can't write anymore. So you're right. They take up time.
Music.
They really do. Yes. Oh, well, we might have to get a little guest appearance from her later on in the show. But we're going to go into you, Kim, singing Birthday from Here Comes the Aliens. So enjoy this, and I'll be speaking to Marty and Kim on the other side.
Monday begins before you know it. Friday's ending. You're feeling that your life is passing you by. Oh, what is there for you aside from all the things that haunt you? You're feeling that you're running out
BPI National Album Day Ambassadors in 2020, the first father and daughter ambassadorship for the BPI. Kim, let's come to you. How important is that for you both?
You know, it was really wonderful to do that together. We were really proud to talk about the impact of albums on everyone, on the music industry, and on the public, you know, the public that go out and buy them and have done for decades. And growing up in this house with Dad's record collection, there'd be Elvis, there'd be Crosby, Stills and Nash. I mean, there was craft work. I mean, it was pretty eclectic, and it was wonderful to grow up listening to those amazing songwriters. But actually putting on an album, listening to each song, really just kind of going on a journey with that artist, really important thing. And so we felt very strongly about it. We'd grown up believing in the album as a piece of art and a piece of something really beautiful and something that lasts forever. So you put on an album that you listened to in the 70s, and all of a sudden you're back in your bedroom. You've got your record player. You've got your posters of Roy Wood on the wall and Elton John, and you're transported, and it's magical. The power of music and the power of an album. So we took to it like ducks to water. We were just talking about music. We had such fun, didn't we?
We did.
What about you, Marty?
Well, I love albums. I mean, an album changed my life, and it's over there. In actual fact, it's Elvis Presley, and the very first album I bought for 17 and 6, and we used that as part of their advertising when we were advertising for this project. And I mean, with an album, you get to know an artist. You actually do get the feel of an artist, and I think also with the larger, the real big size album, you've got it's an art form. You feel you've got something, you've bought something, and it's really it's worth it what you've got. You know, and I love CDs. Don't get me wrong; they're albums too in their own way, but the big albums and
vinyl's is having a massive comeback. And Dad's album was printed in vinyl. Those
old vinyl records.
It's lovely to see them on vinyl again. People appreciate that still.
Yeah. But as you said, the basic thing I think is with an album, you get to know the artist because you've got all those different tracks, different styles from them, hopefully, and you really get to know them.
Yeah. Very valid.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to go into, you came from Michael Jackson's Bad Tour. What was that like, touring with Michael Jackson?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the most amazing moments of my career in 1988. My album Close was out, and I was having lots of hit records. It just, it was all of this, the planets sort of lined up for me. And then we get the call from Michael Jackson's office saying, does Kim Wilde want to come on the European leg of the tour? Of course, I was already selling lots and lots of records in Germany and Switzerland and all the places we ended up going on that tour. So it was great. It was just the perfect timing and wonderful to see him at the height of his prowess. He's just an incredible performer at that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, check this out, and we'll see you on the other side. Oh, now, Marty, I know that you weren't very well over Christmas. You're much better now, which is great news. But you had COVID and you had to self-isolate for Christmas Day.
I did,
rotten, wasn't it?
I did. I caught COVID, so my wife did as well. And that was on Christmas, virtually Christmas Eve.
God.
So the whole of Christmas was spent. I had to go upstairs, live upstairs. Joyce lived on the ground floor. And I had to come downstairs, and she would leave a tray of food on the bottom stair, and then she had to scuttle out the way. Then I would take my corned beef sandwiches, which is what I had.
Winning.
Every day for 10 days, I ate corned beef sandwiches.
Love corned beef sandwiches.
I do. But I got a bit tired of it. Corned beef sandwiches and a cup of tea, and also I got to love mugs of soup. Don't ask me why, but I did. Yeah, miso soup. It was lovely.
That's very good for you, isn't it?
Yeah, excellent, and I love
comforting.
So it was. We got through it, but I mean, again with COVID, you keep thinking how lucky we were. Our symptoms weren't as bad as some other people, so we were very lucky. Joyce and I had sniffles and all the usual things, but when you hear about what other people have had with COVID, you realise how damn lucky you are. So it wasn't a nice Christmas, but I was a lucky man and my wife was a lucky girl.
Yeah, and you were the first ever UK celeb to have the COVID jab, weren't you? How important was that for you?
That was very important because I did honestly feel that I was doing the country a service, and I felt I was being, you know, the Queen gave me a medal, and I thought, well, now you're being put to good use. You know, that's what you should be doing. You should be doing as many good things as you can. And I felt I was setting an example. I wasn't scared of the injection. I thought, no, not at all. If it signed, I put my trust in the scientists, and the scientists said it was okay and it was going to help me immeasurably. And of course, it's been proved right. I mean, an awful lot of people that are in hospital now, dangerously ill, didn't have the injection. You know, they can't escape that. You know, people can't say, well, no, they can't escape that. And so I'm glad that I told people to have the injection, and I'm sure it must have helped someone out there in Hertfordshire, you know, and the NHS anyway, you know. I mean, they're what they did for our country, you know, working so hard, and they still do, of course, as well. So I felt I was I was earning my medal.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. And Kim, you must be so proud of your dad.
Oh, totally, yeah. I mean, they have gone through the whole pandemic with such great humour and such a lust for life, you know. And Dad, as soon as he could get out on stage, he was out there on stage. And then, of course, we promoted Dad's album throughout the whole pandemic. I don't even know how
Honestly,
we did
I don't know
that.
how to do that.
And we made videos together, and I
Yeah.
became a video director, and Dad is still writing now. You know, they have, you know, when I look back, and which I will do in the future, you know, we'll be talking about this pandemic forever, and I'll remember how they did it in great style. You know, they just really set the bar very high for the rest of the family.
Yeah.
You know, just get on with life as best you can. You know, it's obviously safely, but you know, you
Yeah.
did it with style, Dad. I'm proud of you.
One of the worst things, I must just say just quickly, the first show, I did one show where COVID was still around in a big way. But you could do a show, but people had to be separated. So there they were separated. And this was the first show since COVID had come in. So I go out there with a band, and it was in Pakefield. I can say where it was, a great venue. And there I go out in Pakefield, and they're all sitting there like zombies. And I thought, oh my God, what's going on?
God.
So I'm singing away, and they were all separated in tables. And then with each song, it was like, and then it would go quiet again. Oh, there. Okay, sing the next song. And then it was, and of course, they were in shock.
Yeah.
They were in shock. Now, of course, it's all relaxed.
back, yeah.
They're all back, and that same venue I've been since. They're all at the front of the stage now, and they're all like jumping up and down as you expect a man singing and singing along. But because of the shock of COVID, it really did hit people, and not only me, but right across the theatre world. No question about it.
And it's hard for you as a performer, isn't it? Because you rely on that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, you do,
participation,
yeah.
don't you?
Yeah,
So, but I think, like you say, for performers, it's amazing, and for us watching, you know, we appreciate you guys and music more than ever.
I think so, definitely.
Yeah.
Everyone's really excited about getting back on stage,
Sure, yeah.
going to a gig again, singing those
Yeah.
songs, you know, because pop music,
they
it's
are.
one of the few things on this planet that actually connects people, and that's the power of it. It was always the power of it. It's still the power of it, and that's why we believe in it. It's why, you know, Dad's, I mean, how many years have you been making records and singing, Dad? I mean,
I don't
forever.
know.
I mean, I'm 40 years, so what are you?
67, 68 years, I think.
You know, and look at all the, you know, I mean, no one stops doing this, do they?
Exactly.
Unless they
No,
have to.
It's medicine, isn't it, music? We just love it. So we're
We
going to
do.
check out Marty live at the London Palladium singing So Sad. Enjoy.
This is a song which is sung in my house and has been sung in my house for years and years and years when we've had a few bottles of wine in the kitchen. But tonight I'm going to sing it sober, and I'm going to sing it with my daughter Roxanne. It's a beautiful, sad song from Don Everly, and it's called So Sad, to watch good love go bad.
We used to have good times together, So sad to watch good love go bad. Remember how we used to feel, dear. You said nothing would change your mind. It breaks my heart to see us part. So sad to watch good love go bad. Is it any wonder that I feel so blue when I know for certain that I'm losing you? Remember how you used to feel, dear. You said nothing would change your mind. It breaks my heart to see us part. So sad to watch good love go bad. So sad to watch good love go bad.
Now, Marty, since we last spoke, the official chart company announced that you became the first ever artist to achieve success across 8 decades. That is just incredible. That is an amazing achievement. How did that feel for you?
I couldn't really take it all in. I don't think I still do in a way. Yeah. I mean, whatever, you know, it's I don't know. I'm just so busy working. I just keep my head down and work, you know. And so suddenly,
That's the key.
Someone taps you on the shoulder and say, it's like almost like someone saying, "So will you stop now? You realise you've been working for 24 hours non-stop." It's that kind of feeling, you know. I just didn't realise. I really didn't. I had no idea. And our publicist, you know, she said, Sam, she said, you know, you realise that if this goes in the chart, you're going to will have achieved this great achievement.
Make history, Dad.
Yeah, well, but it was pot, and that is pot luck. Don't get me wrong, you know, it was pot luck, but I just kept working.
Yeah, and how did you feel hearing these, Kim?
Well, I think I'm the same as Dad. You know, when great things happen, you should be, or we have been historically, just busy getting on to the next show, the next project, the next album, to really perhaps really savour that moment. And I think that's probably what Dad's trying to say. You know, but from looking at it from an outsider, as his daughter, you know, I'm immensely proud. I mean, Dad was, you know, he was one of the first ever pop stars in the country. I mean, the whole sort of pop genre really began with Dad and Cliff and Billy Fury and several others, and now look where it is now. It's one of the most incredibly successful industries that this country has. So it's a great economic success. It gives us respect worldwide. It's a wonderful industry to be a part of at so many levels, as I'm sure you'll agree, Hayley. So to be part of it all these years now, it's so exciting for us both. Still,
and a privilege,
Dad's still writing.
And a privilege as well.
Total privilege, absolutely.
To be, you know, doing something you love. I always tell youngsters, you know, like teenagers, if you're going to get a job, get a job you love.
That is so
Don't
true.
go into something that you think, oh, my father wants me to do this or my mother wants me to do that. Do what you want to do if you can. And if you can't, then try and get the qualifications so you can do it. You know what I mean?
That's why I talk. It's the only thing I can do, Marty. I love talking and always got in trouble for it. So it's the job for me. But I've got a question from Carol, one of our lovely viewers. He says, reflecting over the past 8 decades, what was the best for music in your opinion?
The best?
Decade.
Which was the best decade?
Oh, that's hard to say. I would say a split between obviously the mid 50s, 1955, but with Kim, of course, with 1980 and 81, from then on in, with Kim, those years were very special to me. Kim, working for, I know she's here, but I'm very proud of her. You see, very proud, and to be part of her career was an absolute privilege. And so those years, the 80s and mid 50s, they were the best.
Yeah.
I mean, you often hear people, especially in my age group, or a bit, maybe a fraction younger, but not much. They would talk about the 50s and they say, "Oh, those were the years," and they were. They really were. No question about it. You know, it was the time. Rock and roll was the time to have been alive. I know youngsters maybe not understand that, but every day something was happening music-wise. You know, one day you'd have the Everly Brothers were number one, the next week would be Elvis, next you had Cliff, you had someone else, someone else, and it was just one thing after the other. And with Kim, of course, I was writing with my son Ricky, and there we were, you know, trying to write hit songs for her, and she was doing it with a great style. So it was a great time.
I mean, Kim, I guess the 80s for you. I mean,
Yeah.
what are your fond memories from the 80s?
Yeah, I mean, right at the beginning, working with my brother Ricky, producing the tracks, Marty and my brother, master songwriters. I hadn't started songwriting then. I was just enjoying the ride and being a pop star and travelling around the world and right at the birth of that great 80s decade, which, you know, I'm still doing 80s gigs now. There's still masses of people come to these 80s concerts and just go crazy. And it was wonderful to be knocking around with, you know, the Human League and ABC and Nick Kershaw and who I still do gigs with now and know as friends. So all the people whose records I was buying are all my mates now, which is so beautiful. And several of them I've recorded with. So yeah, what a decade, the 80s.
Boy George.
Yeah, Boy George,
Terrific.
just lately.
Terrific.
I mean,
Great voice. Keep telling him. Told him.
you
George,
told him
you've
on
got-
the phone. It was so sweet. I was doing a video with Boy George during sort of just at the end of lockdown. And then my phone went and up comes Dad, because I've got him in my phone as Dad. And then George saw it. He said, "Dad?" I said, yeah. He said, "Oh, God, can I talk to him?" I said, "Yeah, of course you can talk to him." So I'm getting my phone. And then they're having a bit of a mutual love-in, George and Dad on the phone.
Wow,
It was
I'd
so
love to have had this
sweet.
conversation.
It was
Amazing.
very cute. Lots of beautiful
I
memories.
said to him, "You just have the most incredible voice." I said, "You know, you really, really have." And
He
said,
he
"Oh,
was blushing
thank
on the
you," he
phone.
Wow.
He has.
I could listen to these stories all day. What great information we're getting today. We're going to go into Move It with the Shadows live from the Palladium. Enjoy this, and I will be catching up more with some great stories on the other side.
Well, come on, pretty baby, let's move it and groove it. Well, shake, oh baby, shake, oh honey, please don't lose it. The rhythm that gets into your heart and soul. Let me tell you, baby, it's called rock and roll. Well, I say it's gonna die, but honey, please let's face it. Yeah, you just don't know what's going to replace it. Well, the battle's ankle ain't got nothing on. Real country music that just drives along. Yeah, oh, yeah. All right. just don't know what's going to replace it. Well, ballads ain't got lips, so ain't got nothing on. Real country music can just drive along.
Dreamboats and Petticoats tour, and Kim, you held your Greatest Hits tour. I know 2022 you're both going on individual tours. So Marty, let's come to you. I know you're coming to my hometown of Portsmouth, which I'm very excited about. I will have to come along with my dad. He's a big fan of yours. So tell us about the tour and what we can expect.
It'll be obviously nostalgia and humour as well. I think this year I've tried to, when I talk to the audience, I like to, because you've got to be honest. And I mean, I'm 82. There's no point in me going out there trying to be some sort of young whippersnapper, like jumping about and and all the things that a young person does. So I more or less start talking about age. I talk about it on stage, and if I do something on stage and I get it wrong, I say, well, I'm 82, so what do you expect? and they appreciate that,
of course,
But the show will be, I think the show's going to be great because, I mean, who knows? No one knows now what's going to happen in the future with COVID COVID rears its head because you don't know whether you're going to be able to do the show to a certain extent, and you don't physically, are you going to be around in 2 years' time, or whatever. So the tour will be very important, I think. It's going to be very important for me. And I should treasure, and I treasure working with the people that I'll be working with on that tour. And we've got Nancy, we've got Eden Kane, we've got Mark Winter, and they're people. They're three acts that I love, and we love. Eden Kane is like a. He's like a brother, I feel like he's like a brother to me. I always have done with Eden. And, they all sing great. All of those three, they sing great. And they always give 100% of their best. That's what I love about it. Eden does, Mark does, Nancy does. And even the oldest one does as well, which is me, obviously. But we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun.
That's the most important thing.
It's going to be a great show.
Is there a favourite song that you like to perform, Marty?
It's hard to say. There's so many. I just love music, so every song to me is something special. I suppose in a way, I've got to say, "Teenager in Love." In so much, no, I've not been a huge fan of that song. It's for me, it's like, but the people love it.
Yeah.
They love it, and when I see what that effect that has on the audience, it's the same for every artist.
They
the same
have
for
big
Kim
smiles
as well.
on their faces.
When she sings "Kids in America,"
it's amazing.
People's face like that. But that's our job. That's what we're there for.
Yeah.
They've got enough pressures of people out there in this world at the moment.
Yeah.
They've got all the pressures in the world.
It's an escape for people, isn't it? When they come along, I know for me, when I watch a concert, you forget about everything, which is just wonderful.
That's why I think we're going back to what you said about people who have gone to the theatre. They're starting to pack them out. They're starting to go out to the theatres now, and it is that. It's that they've just got to get out there again, and it's because
feel alive.
Exactly.
And joyful.
Absolutely. And Kim, let's come to you because you're going on tour. Yeah. How excited are you for this?
Well, I'm really excited because I had some really expensive costumes made for the tour when it was supposed to be in 2020, and I still haven't had a chance to wear them. So I'm very excited that all the Pop Don't Stop Greatest Hits tour goes out from September in the UK, then it goes into Germany, Holland at the end of the year.
God.
I'm doing 80s gigs throughout the year, but I'm looking forward to the tour part of it because we'll be reimagining some old hits that we don't normally do and some rare groups, all that kind of stuff, but I can't wait.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, we're going to put details on the screen below of how you can get tickets for both Marty and Kim's tour, and we're going to play you Bad Boy with Big Jim Sullivan, again live from the London Palladium.
people down the street, whoever you meet, say I'm a bad boy. Say I'm a bad boy. Say I'm a bad boy. Even dear old dad, when he's getting mad, says I'm a bad boy. Says I'm a bad boy. Says I'm a bad boy. Well, you see now I got a girl. We stay out late almost every night. People just stare, they declare, they say, well, well, you know, it just ain't right. But if only they knew how I love you, they'd say a bad boy could be a good boy who's just in love. Here comes Big Jim. Hey. Isn't he wonderful? Well, you see now I got a girl. We stay out late almost every night. People just stare, they declare, they say, well, well, you know, it just ain't right. But if only they knew how I love you, they'd say a bad boy could be a good boy who's just in love. So much in love, so crazy in love, so much in love. Thanks for making that one a hit. And thanks to fabulous original Wildcat. Big Jim, Big Rich.
Oh, Marty and Kim, I could talk to you all day. We could keep this going for the whole evening, but this has been fabulous to come and visit you here, Marty's home, and just put the world to rights and have a cup of tea and talk about your tour, which I know that you're both really excited to go on your tour. So again, we will put details on the screen below of how you can get tickets. But thank you, it's been a real honour.
Okay, great to see you again, Hayley.
Oh, thank you. And we will show you the dog. We put a little photo on the screen because she's absolutely gorgeous. But wonderful. Thank you. It's Marty and Kim Wilde, everyone.
Mwah.
Thank you.
Huge thank you to Kim Wilde and Marty Wilde. What a show it has been. A real honour and a joy. Thank you. And to you at home for supporting the show. It's so appreciated. Thank you. Now, I will see you same time, same place next week. And we're going to leave you with Kim Wilde, Kids in America.
Looking at a dirty old window, down below the cars in the city go rushing by. I sit here